to be a direct, absolute, primary help to me in my work with children and young people and their families out in community.
In particular, the concept of a different worldview and a different viewpoint and cultural knowledge base, as well as looking at language and language as an essential ingredient to effective communication.
It sort of has a lot to do with my work in the sense of the language and the language barriers, which is obviously a big issue with us.
I've really enjoyed the seminar today. Particularly, I hope that I'm being corrected in advance before I make mistakes with real-life clients in work situations. And I think it's been a really, fun, interactive sort of session, but has managed to cover a whole lot of particular topics which I think are really important.
The workshops really refreshed me on those and fired me up to go out and do my job a bit differently from what I've been doing.
I guess the base knowledge about the body functions, and that it's pretty shocking, like the way all the assumptions that we make in terms of all the assumptions that we make when we work there. It's like one of the biggest problems, I think, especially when we're talking about health. And it's been really, really good, because I think it will bring us back a few steps and be able to really provide some more meaningful learning for the people there. So, yeah.
I think the really interesting thing you talked about was the naming, the concept of how non-Indigenous populations have given all sorts of labels to Aboriginal people, and those labels are really misunderstandings and misrepresentations of their culture, and how in fact now Aboriginal people have almost taken on those labels themselves. So there's a lot of confusion about what is genuine culture and what is misguided Ballender applications of what we think Aboriginal culture might be.
In terms of changing my practice, just knowing some of the little cultural differences between how we do things and how Aboriginal people do things will prevent me from making common mistakes.
I think actually there's particularly good concepts that have been taught, and I think then you can sort of apply practical things you sort of see every day, and I think the penny sort of starts to drop about a whole lot of issues.
Family relations, I mean, a lot of the people that I deal with, they do talk a lot about their family and how they're related to family, and that is one thing that I and a lot of my co-workers didn't sort of understand properly, and I suppose now with this we can gain the knowledge on what they mean when they talk about their family.
Language is really important, and I think the thing that we always think we do, people say, oh, you've got to take time and you've got to think about things, and we always assume that that's what we're doing. I've learnt here that no, you've got to do even more of that. You've got to do more silence, you've got to do more listening, more quiet, just be listening.
The knowledge is not necessarily the same knowledge that we have. All our beliefs that we have good knowledge in communities, and that will take time to develop, and hopefully we can have some good outcomes in the near future.
Richard's work, both the book and the seminar, is really quite inspiring and very eye-opening to a new way of doing things, and as to the reasons for some of the problems and issues currently exist, and I really think they should be essential reading and essential attendance for probably every health professional.
Highly, definitely do it. It's great. It's sort of it does sort of teach you a lot about the culture, things that you didn't know about the culture. In a sense, it gives you a better understanding of the culture.
A lot of the topics that Richard covers gives a lot of insight as to how you could actually model something to actually facilitate the education of whatever role that you're in my case health, to get it out there, to get the message across the community. And I just think that the Cultural Awareness Program will give all staff or hospital staff, you know, a better understanding of what they're actually dealing with and how to be appropriate.
Definitely, 100%. This is the best one I've been to so far. Others, they kind of polarise you, and you kind of almost end up two halves of a room. I've loved this one because it's incorporated and included everybody, and there's been no polarisation of groups or you know, individuals. We're still all going to leave here good friends.
Yeah, definitely. And I think anyone who works in remote communities should definitely read the book or better do the seminar. I think the seminar is really practical, and I think it gives really good tips in better program delivery. And I've done other cross-cultural trainings, and I think that one is far more applicable, and I really recommend it.